When Don Zimmer passed in 2014, it ended a 65-year, 8-decade professional baseball odyssey that led him all over the world and into our hearts. Better remembered as a manager and the right-hand man to Joe Torre during the Yankees' 1990s dynasty, Zim played 12 seasons in the majors and even one season in Japan. His baseball tapestry was so diverse, he had stops in Brooklyn with the Washington Senators and spent time with the Montreal Expos. The most unique sojourn, though, might be his time with the Cienfuegos Elefantes of Cuba's Winter League. The Cuban League has roots as far back as 1878, but the 1940s and 50s represent the steadiest formation with Havana, Almendares, Marianao, and Cienfuegos playing out of the capital of Havana. The early 1950s saw the often fledgling but enduring league strike a formal agreement with the major leagues. This resulted in an influx of American major leaguers or top minor leaguers in need of some seasoning. As per César Brioso in his seminal book, Last Seasons in Havana, this is the story of Don Zimmer in Cuba. Zimmer came to the island in the winter of 1951 thanks to the league's insistence on quality performances from its imported players. It was play well or go home. Cienfuegos shortstop Gene Mauch, who had already played for the Brooklyn Dodgers, Pittsburgh Pirates, Chicago Cubs, and Boston Braves, was struggling. So Zimmer went from a paltry minor league salary to making, in his words, "I want to say $700 or $800 a month," which I thought I was a millionaire. The Cincinnati, Ohio native was a 20-year-old shortstop in Brooklyn's minor league system and was up to his tuchus in snow during the offseason when the call came from the Dodgers scouting director. "I was a very young kid, just coming out of Class A ball in the Eastern League," Zimmer said. "In those days, well, if you didn't play good, they'd send you home. And I don't think Mauch was playing too good. I was home in Cincinnati in the snow. Al Campanis called me one day and said, 'Do you want to go to Cuba to play the rest of the winter?' I said, 'Yeah, my goodness.' I got on an airplane with my wife the next day." Zimmer would be joining Cienfuegos to replace the struggling Mauch, but there was some question about whether the Elephants would be willing to sign a mere Class A ball player. "We had a guy that owned the club, Bobby Maduro, and they wanted major league players or top AAA players," Zimmer said. "Here, I just come out of the Eastern League, Class A ball, and when they looked at a press guide, they said, 'No, we can't have anybody out of Class A ball.' And Campanis said to Maduro, 'Take him on my recommendation,' and that's how I wound up in Cuba. At that time, I thought it was heaven," Zimmer said. "Havana, Cuba, oh my goodness." Zimmer returned to Cuba to play with Cienfuegos the following winter. But with Humberto Chico Fernandez, a future inductee in the Cuban Baseball Hall of Fame, taking over at shortstop, Zimmer was traded to Marianao for pitcher Sandalio Consuegra. The trade worked out for both teams. Zimmer's numbers improved from his first winter, batting .272 with 7 home runs and 33 RBIs in 70 games. Zim's time on the island may have been short, and even though the league had only 4 teams, he, like many players, played for half those teams as player movement was frequent. Cuba may have had a bigger impact on Zimmer than vice versa, but it at the very least represents a unique chapter in a fascinating baseball life and in Cuba's long and winding baseball history. The Cienfuegos Elefantes were revived in 1977 and play out of the city of Cienfuegos today. They've produced a few players you might have heard of. Marianao is a neighborhood in Havana, and the Winter League represents its last true representation in a top Cuban league. As always, subscribe here on YouTube, smash the like button like a hanging slider, or share this video.